Yes,
So, yes. Professor Banerjee?
ma'am, Raja Banerjee sir has got disconnected, ma'am.
No, he's getting connected. Okay, okay, okay.
Joined,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, yeah. So,
All
good afternoon.
Bandhavadhyay.
Okay.
So,
Huh?
BQM. It's a
BQM.
Bandhavadhyay.
Okay, so good evening, sir. Welcome once again. So we can start, I think.
Yes,
The
yes.
students are,
Start.
yes, we can start. They will join soon. They already 80 students are there. So a very good evening to all the students and the participants of this webinar. And we are very happy to have with us Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay, Director, CSR, Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, IICB, Kolkata. And from on behalf of the School of Biological Science, I welcome all the participants and the students to take part in this induction cum orientation program organized for particularly for the newcomers. But there are many other students and ongoing students and ex-students and other participants also here in this seminar. So before we go into the actual webinar, we are extremely honored and glad to have with us our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Shoikat Moitro. And as customary, sir always welcomes our guest, and also he is the pivot in this sort of programs, and he encourages us and all the faculties and all the students to actively take part in such programs wherein motivation is the main essence of this entire platform, especially for these students. So, sir, with this, I now hand over to you, and you are. I'm very happy that you have also given us your valuable time in this busy schedule. So, with you, sir, we are always very comfortable, and thank you very much once again. And, sir, it is now handed over to you. So, welcome our guest and also declare this webinar open. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Bandhavadhyay. First of all, let me welcome to Dr. Arun Bandhavadhyay to this webinar session. From today, I'm going to introduce another small system that is for this for the knowledge of Dr. Joya Bandhavadhyay, Professor Raja Banerjee. Just now, before joining here, I conveyed it to Professor Raja Banerjee. Whenever we are planning to organize this webinar and communicating this flyer to different groups, along with this, now we are making it mandatory that the brief CV of the resource person and brief content of the subject also to be circulated. That is required because you see from the flyer it is not always possible to know in detail about the speaker, but the speaker that there should be enough publicity about the speaker and about this about the topic. So we are going to circulate this advisory to different these our directors and heads to take up this for the future actions. This is number one. Number two is from School of Biological Science and Department of Biotechnology, we are organizing webinars for the benefit of our learning community in different topics. Day before yesterday, there was another webinar. I could not be present because of some other, these problems or some parallel assignments. Probably I cannot remember now. But that was also very good. But there also the problem is, you see. All these things need to be properly publicized, and our university in this period, pandemic period, from the March onwards, we organized record numbers of webinars, and we have invited a galaxy of persons from different parts of this world, not only from this Bengal, not only from India, but other countries, from other countries as well. And this is this phenomenal thing. And right now, another point is coming to my mind. So whatever all these lectures and presentations are being, this presented at these open platforms, all this now needs a proper compilation. and that is required. That is required for our future learners. So we should take all these types of activities in future. Now today's topic seems to be very interesting. This topic is just now I was discussing with Professor Raja Banerjee. Innovation and uncertainty. These are two main words. These are two main keywords of today's topic. These are very much important in this present context. Innovation in the form of this digital revolution or technology revolution in the what has been this happening in the last few years, particularly in this decade, in the form of technology revolution. The phenomenal growth of technologies and innovations, these are happening worldwide, and this impact is now felt at every sphere, and in many spheres. Because of this pressure of innovation, because of this technology revolution, disruption process has started. COVID pandemic scenario perhaps accelerated it. But all these situations, all these disruptions were bound to happen. This was the writing on the wall that we are moving to a new world. In the coming decades, we are going to enter into new worlds with lots of innovative practices, lots of this changed the changed mindsets, lots of this transformation, reformation as a consequence of these disruptions. And now this thing is this what is required now. We need to align ourselves to this changing tide and changing time. Now, and for that purpose, this is the requirement is now the very positive mindset. Was positive mindset to embrace these lots of new things, and uncertainty will be more. Uncertainty will be more in different sphere. I am telling from my this personal experience and personal observation that by 2030 there will be a number of professions which are not existing right now, and even today also we are observing a number of professions are coming up. We have not dreamed of all these things even 5, 6, 7 years before, and many of the existing professions, they are going to be vanished. So these are the new things. These are the uncertain world. World is moving to a this, and there will be uncertainty in other format also. Environmental uncertainty. We are not quite sure about the impact of global warming, sea level rise, and all these things, and we are not quite sure of this these climatic changes, cyclonic prevalence, earthquakes, and all these natural disasters which may happen in near decades. So all these are uncertain. From natural sides is uncertain. From our technological these sides, from our all this as a consequence of all this innovation, uncertainty will happen in many spheres. And for that purpose, we need to enlighten ourselves from the right set of contemporary, contextual, relevant, and futuristic knowledges. And that's for this is a time of collaborative intelligence. We need to have proper collaboration and networking with different these subjects, different areas, different personalities. And today, you see, if we think of a single or unique solution or a foolproof solution, that may not be possible because of this. The problem is changing, ever changing. Solution is also evolving. Now the thing is, all these problems. Today morning, I was having interaction with our faculty members. I was talking about these problems and opportunities and solution, challenges and opportunities. Where there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. Where there is a problem, there is a solution, and that a solution means there is an opportunity. So whatever is there in the form of problems, uncertainty, and all these things, how best we can take benefit out of all this? There lies our this challenge, and for that purpose we need to equip ourselves with right set of skill, knowledge, skill, and ability. So that's for and that requires this tremendous a mindset which is ready for absorbing anything and many things. And with the I do not know whether I'm unnecessary prolonging or lengthening my deliberation, which I'm not supposed to do. My role is very limited as specified by Dr. Joya Bandyopadhyay. Only to
you can go
welcome
on,
this
sir. We will love.
declared
We
this session
love.
open. So,
No, sir. Sir, please, you continue. We are liking it. We
okay,
all
okay.
enjoy. Yes, sir.
So that's why, this here many I have seen it in our educational systems, also in research systems, in our all cultures, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, transdisciplinary. These phrases, these terms are time and again we are repeating. We are trying to this remind ourselves of the importance of all these things. But now this is the time for engaging ourselves in real practices of multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary approaches. You see, whatever we know, that is there, but if it is not blended with the attributes and uh, with the outcome or with the benefits of other subjects and other areas, then no problem can be solved. For example, in your area, in biological researches, big data handling now is going to be very, very essential. Earlier, we do not have these types of facility. We do not have these platforms, tools, techniques, and all these things. But within the last 5, 6 years, there has been a tremendous growth and development in terms of this architecture development, in terms of the platform development, all these things. And there are lots of tools and techniques are available. So earlier, we are happy in our laboratory for working with small sets of data. But right now, it is not that much important or that much relevant and that much, this outcome bearing. So keeping all these things, this is one thing. Second is how to this go for analytic, this capturing meaningful data using data science, then going for analysis of all these things. Then how to use machine learning and artificial intelligence in this in looking into the pattern of these many changes. These are now new things. Understanding of the biological systems, biomimicry, and all these things. These are going to be these new things for other areas as well, different areas. Yesterday, I was having a discussion with some these medical practitioners from different parts of the world on this COVID virus and all these things. This particular scenario, what we are observing, some other areas are going to be very important. As for example, people are talking about telemedicine. This is now it was there. People are working on this digital healthcare and telemedicine and smart healthcare systems. But right now, this importance has become very, very predominating. And because of this fact, now we need a numbers of professionals in digital healthcare systems. With that purpose, we set up a Center for Digital Health for taking up different projects in this area. Health analytics. There are lots of data being in India. There is no dearth of data. Moments every place at every moment. Humongous how to take benefit of all these data, how to get meaningful solution of all these things, how to take benefit of all these disciplines, all the parts, we have so many laboratories, so many, these resource persons, this now we need a proper networking and collaboration. That is required for taking up, these many challenging tasks. And to overcome uncertainty, one of the keywords is collaboration networking. If you have more collaboration, more networking, then the adverse effect of uncertainty gets dispersed. So this is the new situation. This is the new, this is normal or new protocol that we need to engage persons from different backgrounds on different domains or researchers from different areas. Even now today, people are talking about to engage researchers from humanities, from creative arts, from liberal arts and other areas with science, technologies, with financial systems and management systems, so that whatever is the consequence of the uncertainty that can be dissipated. So with this, I would like to conclude, because if I continue like this, then Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay will not get time to speak. But for him only, we have organized this webinar. It is only I took the liberty of talking at very beginning, and as so therefore, this is all the bad habit of people. I am not receiving the call, and time this fellow is trying to reach out. Clearly understanding that I am refusing this call, but still, so long I will not be taking the call, he will try and try. This is all distraction. That's why most of the time I keep my phones, the silent or switched off.
It is also an uncertainty.
Yeah, this is the
It is also, and then comes probability. If the
uncertainty.
next
Your life is uncertain. Can you say tomorrow we will be closing our opening our eyes again, and we will be looking at the world? Okay, no one can say. So
tomorrow
everything
is
is
a
future
long
is
time.
uncertain. Future is
Tomorrow is a
uncertain.
long
Every
time.
moment is
Even
uncertain.
after 10 minutes, what happened, we do not know.
Yes. So uncertainty is nothing new. Uncertainty is a part of our life, part of the entire universe, is universal. This system. So that is different. That is macro uncertainty. But micro uncertainty, when we're talking about this in this area, these are uncertainty associated with this our future life, our career, our knowledge, our application, all these things. Uncertainty of this exploring new things, uncertainty of taking up these challenging scenarios. So we are talking about. There are different dimensions of uncertainty. So with this, I would like to conclude. Now, this is the time to get ourselves enlightened, to get ourselves more informed from the deliberation of Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay. He is Director of Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, one of the prestigious CSR laboratory of India. I am happy in that sense because I was, once upon a time, I was also associated with CSIR. I am an ex-scientist of CSIR. So that gives me immense pleasure whenever I meet someone from CSR system. So with this, my heartfelt, this thanks to Dr. Bandyopadhyay, Arun Bandyopadhyay, for responding to our call and to make himself available at this webinar platform for the benefit of our learning community. I believe this will be a very, this pleasant and nice experience for all of our learners. But again, I'd like to give them a piece of advice. Kindly engage yourself in active learning. In the morning, we discussed lots of things in the pros and cons of digital and physical systems. I do not want to repeat all these things. Dr. Joya Bandyopadhyay, Professor Raja Banerjee, they may, this remind you of all these things. But right now, there is a time to start this webinar. My request to Dr. Joya Bandyopadhyay is kindly start the proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It is always very, very encouraging and very candid expressions that you have for us, and we enjoy it. So you can never bore us. You never bore us. I always look forward to new stories also. So which I don't have that caliber, but I look forward. But it's always very pleasant and a very good feeling in all of our minds that when you talk. So it is. I'm always looking forward to it, and thank you so much, sir. And this is a very homely atmosphere, and of course, I want to also share that this title,
Homely
like
atmosphere
nurturing.
for me, for you, and for Raja Banerjee. But Arun Bandyopadhyay, probably he is sitting at his office, or his office atmosphere.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I mean to say.
yeah.
I didn't mean to say that. I mean to say very like students are all
That is,
over
you should be
from a
thankful to the
department.
university that the university has designed this remote work process and you are taking benefit of
Yes,
it. But you
yes,
see, CSR lab, you
definitely.
see, they have to go to office and work from the
Yes,
office
yes.
itself.
Oh, no, no. Yes, sir,
Yes.
definitely. And students are also like they are engaged in all these webinars. Some of them are very scientific and some of them are motivating. And I'll now request our director, Professor Raja Banerjee, to take over and introduce our speaker today. Over to you, Professor Banerjee, and welcome once again.
Very good
Now
afternoon
it
to you all.
reminds me of this is
Yes,
just a
sir.
small piece of story.
Yes,
It
sir. Yes,
reminds
sir.
me of my experiences of watching jatras at our these childhood times. You see the violins and the preludes that extend this from the early evening. And the sessions, the real jatra session
The night,
for that,
overnight.
Absolutely.
that started after 12, after 1.
Correct.
Let Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay start his deliberation. Dr. Raja Banerjee can say
No, no.
afterwards.
No, actually, Professor,
No, no,
Professor
no.
Maitra, Professor Maitra, you have summarized my talk before I listen. So you have made
That
my
is not
job
the
very
justice
easier.
of all these things.
Yeah, I have to just give some examples. That's the remaining things I have to speak.
So
But
you
you
speak, you
already
start
you
your
really
speaking. Dr. Raja
summarized
Banerjee, Professor
my
Raja
talk.
Banerjee, we are there
No,
from our home. Joy Bandyopadhyay told that homely atmosphere. So let Raja Bandyopadhyay at the end summarize all these things and this If we speak and the speakers doesn't get the time to speak, then this is not a justice to this invite reputed personality to our webinar system.
No, sir, no problem. I think
Art is deliberation, and the end Banerjee can make a summary of all these things. Make it in this way. Okay.
Just a minute, as you mentioned that we have not put it to the webinar, our flyer, who is Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay. I think it is my duty and responsibility to let him introduce with my
Who
students.
knows they are better?
Actually,
Dr. Joy Bandyopadhyay?
No, I do not. I don't. That is a homely atmosphere. I do not go into that.
Okay.
Actually, Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay, Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay is a person who started his life from scratch. A person who started from his life from scratch at the rural part of the Bengal, western side of the Bengal, and now becoming the prestigious chair of the director as CSIR IICB Life. So this is one thing, a motivation. That means always do not you have to born with a silver spoon, but you can earn that through your life, through your work. And Dr. Bandyopadhyay has invited today, and I am very glad to introduce Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay here because he is a motivation, he is an inspiration for you who can just seeing him, he can tell you just life can be started from scratch.
Okay, I think he got disconnected.
You can continue. Joy Bandyopadhyay can
Yeah.
continue. If you have some supplement to this, you can add.
Yeah,
Okay, no, he is back. He is back.
Yeah. So this is actually there is some network problem.
Yeah, network issues. Yeah.
This is the one thing. Yeah, this is basically actually I am in Khorda now. Now this is one more thing. And today what he is going to tell is basically the uncertainty and the creativity. These two are basically not reciprocal, not whatever I say inversely related, but these two are correlated, co-mapped. And his job is basically to let you know how uncertainty and creativity can be matched together. The word uncertainty is basically when we use the term, there's a very famous Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The whole chemistry, whole spectroscopy, physics, and the atomic life is depending on the uncertainty. The spectral line that should be, if we consider the Max Planck's theory, it should be single line, but this line's a little bit broader. And actually, if you go through in the spectroscopy line, the only answer is basically it is the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which will tell you why the lines are a little broader. So, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor has mentioned, the uncertainty, it is every time, every moment in our life. There is a biological system that is also uncertainty. But from the uncertainty, there is also another word is chances that is called probability. And this probability allows you with your creativity to form what Dr. Bandyopadhyay, Arun Bandyopadhyay is today. Basically, if I say Dr. Bandyopadhyay, it will be a confusion. So I must use the Arun Bandyopadhyay, what he is today. So how he makes his chances, how he makes and actually proves himself from the with his creativity to that line of nurturing the using the uncertainty to the creativity part. So once again, this is very, very interesting and motivating to see you, Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay, specifically from your office, and that is the background which you not as a researcher, but also distinguished. With this, I welcome Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay, who has started his journey from the Bakura and the Asansol, or Purulia and Asansol, and then moved to the Vishwabharati for a master's, and then MTech from IIT Kharagpur. Then he did his PhD from Vishwabharati. Again, he moved abroad, crossed the barrier of the country, went to South Africa, where he did his postdoc.
South Korea.
South Korea,
South
sorry,
Korea.
where he went to South Korea, and he is also a visiting scientist of US, a very prestigious institute, and now as acting as a director. So I think this is sufficient enough. But his area of research is cardiovascular and the respiratory diseases, and he has built some model through which we can diagnose some diseases. So this is something, when you go, you will not, no one will be in this world forever, but your work will act as a footmark, and it will be acting as a reference or the calibration line for the future generation. So Dr. Bandopadhyay, Arun Bandopadhyay has done it, and I am really, really, it's my proud privilege. I am really happy. Once I talked to him, I just give him a call and I requested, Arunda, you have to give a seminar. He is ready, by without asking what will be other things you are giving me. Without anything, he said, yes, I will come and I will give it to you. So once again, I welcome you at this institute. In your, I know what is the busy schedule you have to play, but I still with the students. Actually, it is a really motivation for others. So please, Dr. Bandhopadhyay.
Thank you. So over to you, Dr. Bandyopadhyay.
Thank you very much. So really, I'm really grateful to the organizing committee for this induction program. Professor from your Professor Saigat Maitra, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ajay Banerjee, Director School of Biological Sciences, and Dr. Joy Bandyopadhyay, Head of the Department of Biotechnology, for giving me this opportunity to share my thought. This is a different kind of a lecture because this is not my work presentation, the presentation we are very familiar with. I have already spoken in a very similar topic in your faculty development program, I think last month. So some of the slides will be same, but I have changed this because the topic was different, completely different. But some of the things are here very similar to my thought process to inculcate this thought process among you, because here most of these participants are students, and this is appropriate time to think differently, as Professor Maitra, Vice Chancellor, has already said very nicely, summarized my talk, my content, without going to the topic, without going to the slides. So as I said, that I have one job to complete, that is to show the example. So, and since this is the area, this is the time, the 21st century is the time for biotechnology, period of biotechnology. So it is my very honored privilege that I am talking in front of the future biotechnologist. So with this, I will just start my presentation. I'll share my screen.
Yes.
So slides are visible, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So actually, I feel comfortable speaking from the office because the people are here to help. Sometimes some technical glitches are there elsewhere. And also, we have a long working hours. Many people wait for many things. And we have been working from 21st April. And from the lockdown, day of the lockdown, we have started working for COVID program. So we are working very much. So the title of my talk, as you understand, the nurturing creativity to embrace uncertainty. Uncertainty here, I meant for radical uncertainty, not the uncertainty which we face daily life. Radical uncertainty is not predictable. Other uncertainties are predictable. That is why radical, because you don't know what kind of uncertainty may arise. So one of the uncertainties we are facing now, that is biological uncertainty, the humankind is facing. Humankind didn't imagine that we would face this kind of uncertainty in 2020, and that is why it is really a radical uncertainty. Another uncertainty, that is radical uncertainty, is the cosmological crisis. You never know when there will be cosmological crisis, and so I am not talking about that. So we will restrict to our our health related area, the biological uncertainty, and how we may basically face this uncertainty over the years. So but I will my talk will be limited to two main theme, that is human evolution as an adaptive complexity. We evolved from the tiny, the inorganic RNA molecule, and from the water aquatic medium, and then evolved over the years, billions of years, and all are basically adaptation, and that makes us complexities increased. So that's what we are, human being, and we rule the planet. And how we rule the planet, why we have that advantage. I will discuss some of the interesting ideas here because the students are here. And the next is I will also discuss why the creativity is necessary, why nurturing creative culture is necessary, and which is lacking in Indian context. So I'll be very critical for our culture, our so-called culture, which is not yet conducive and not yet supporting the creativity. That is why you are still dependent on the Western society for everything. So with this, let me just begin introduce my topic, my area, just 2-3 slides, because my wife requested to introduce my area first and then go to the actual topic. So before I go to the actual topic, let me introduce my area. So my effort is to bed to bench to bed, because all my research work on cardiovascular disease starts from human sample. So it was my dream to start the day with human sample, roam around the hospitals with ice bucket for human sample, and then analyze human sample in the laboratory to find out some interesting molecules which could be utilized to predict cardiac heart failure or the or risk assessment for heart diseases. Two important heart diseases I choose. One is the cardiovascular, the acute coronary syndrome or heart attack, or the coronary artery disease. Another is the rheumatic heart disease, which is very frequently found in our country, including on most of the developing countries, because of large-scale streptococcal infection in the early childhood. So here you can see that we have active collaboration with the clinicians. The samples entering into the hospitals, the patient entering into the hospitals with chest pain, so-called heart attack. The samples are collected by the physician and then reach to the laboratory. We have a very high-end machine. There is orbital mass spectrometry, which is very high throughput machine and which is very effective machine. So it can analyze proteins, thousands of proteins, and identify what are the proteins in the blood. Since the blood reflects everything, all diseases, so I also ventured into looking after what are the proteins which are altered before heart attack or at the time of heart attack, so that I can track down those proteins and could eventually find out the biomarker for heart diseases, and also understanding the cardiovascular disease. So one of the such proteins which would be interest of Dr. Ajay Banerjee is a structural biologist, that we have found interesting, very recently have published this paper in journal Molecular Biology. The students will be interested to know. So you can see this article in my website, in my web page, in our IC web page, that we have with this approach we have identified or discovered one protein, ABCA5 transporter, novel transporter, which is not supposed to be transporter protein, but which is actually acts as a cholesterol transporter when the patient has a high level of cholesterol. That we have shown in the human sample, in the cell line, and also in the appropriate knockout mice model. So, and over the years, I have been trying to find out the biomarker for rheumatic heart disease. Rheumatic heart disease is a very common in the people living in the poor and lower socio-economic status. There are presently 6 million RHD people cases are there in India. This is diagnosed by echocardiography. There is no biochemical marker for diagnosing rheumatic heart disease. So based on our basic science work, we found that one of the proteins could be utilized as a biomarker because it is highly 6 to 7-fold increased in the blood of this patient. So with this, we have collaborated with the SSKM hospital, PG hospital, and we have established that, okay, this is the protein which is increased very tremendously, several folds in the blood and when the heart valve is disordered, when the heart valve is replaced with prosthetic valve, the protein goes down, suggesting that this this defective valve is the cause of this high level of protein. Based on that, we have published paper, we patented the idea, and we have made a prototype, which is a lateral flow device, which like now very popularly used as a lateral flow device is used for rapid antigen antibody detection in the COVID. So we have so this is just waiting for further validation, further improvement, little improvement. And one of your members is students or research scholar is now with me, research associate, and she's trying to improve this system in IICB so that it will be commercialized soon, and it will be utilized in the for the patient care. So with this, I just want to welcome all the students of the biotechnology department who are entering now, graduates, undergraduates, and also who are doing PhDs. So welcome in the pursuit of science and technology, because you have chosen the great subject. Henceforth, I will say science means science and technology. I'll mean science. Science and technology, as with telling science, I'll mean science and technology. So you are very welcome, because you have chosen the best subjects in the world, the subject which make us the superior, and the subject which is the very important at this moment, at the juncture, because 21st century is the age for the biotechnology. And why now is the golden age of biotechnology? Because the speed of technological progress and better understanding of human biology. You can understand the human biology by seeing the proteins, seeing the candidate proteins which could be utilized as the drug candidate, using the high-end the system, the crystallography and other machine which are available very easily. Though they are expensive, but the technologies are available. With crystallography, you can image the antibody, you can see the antibody, you can see how antibodies were interacting with the target, and you can also visualize how the drug is interacting with the molecule target or enzyme. So this is very interesting. We have all the facilities. We have the bigger toolkit is developed. There are CRISPR-Cas, and you know that you very recently have one of the speakers he's also from our CSR system, CSR IGIB. So he has developed a kit based on CRISPR-Cas, and using this toolkit, you can edit the human genome. You can edit the rectify the fault, the genetic disease that is not the fantasy, that will be reality very soon, and you will be party to that. So you are very much welcome to this subject, and you should be motivated to study this in deep sense, for deep understanding, so that you will be also joining in this the evolution. So why science is the best subject, I say, because I mean the science is the only subject which searches for the truth. If you can compare, suppose a person, a lawyer fighting the case for defending his client or her client who has committed a murder. So lawyer, knowing the fact that the person or the client has committed the murder, though he has promised that everything he will say truth, but he or she will not make truth. He or she knows that our client has committed the crime, but still conceal the truth. But science will not do that. Think of the activity of the commercial, the executives, the marketing executives. They know very well that a paint cannot kill coronavirus, but they advertise that it is a coronavirus. A paint can kill coronavirus, but it is not possible. So they know it is not truth, but they advertise as a truth. But science will not say anything which is not truth. Many scientists manipulate, many scientists fraud the data, and but they are punished. They are not punished if they are not found guilty. They are not found, but the science itself can rectify over the years. So science is a beauty, and we are the party to that. So our duty is to find out the truth. So you have chosen the science not to become rich. Obviously, science doesn't make a person rich. There are many other avenues that people will be made rich. But sometimes science make rich. I can give an example. If you can exploit science in such a way, then science also can make you rich. I can give you 3 examples here. One of the examples here is Jim Simpson, who is a mathematician and present. He is a completely mathematician, purely mathematician. If you can right now, you can search in Google, you will find that he is a mathematician. He doesn't know anything about economy. He doesn't know anything about the market, but he was very fond of solving complex equation. So why he was at the age of 30, he was tired of, he was just bored by solving complex equation. He thought, okay, let's see the stock market. And he predicted using the complex equation, the stock market up and down, and he purchased stocks and he made billions of dollars. And with the help of AI, with the advent of computer system, he started when computer was not so much developed in 1974. But when with the advent of computer system, smart computer system, he developed the algorithm and he made billions of dollars. And then he's a successful mathematician, scientist, made money out of science. But there is a difference with this, say, making money. I'll tell very soon. Similarly, Elon Musk, a physicist, you can just right now search. He made Tesla, his SpaceX, and also many other companies. His dream was to return the launcher of rocket, which the original module, which go wastage. But he said he thought that why it cannot be returned back to the land so that it can be reused. So he developed the reusable rocket system with a completely new innovation, and also the car, artificial, the driverless cars, and many things. So he is also $91 billion his asset right now. He's just physicist. He left the PhD just within one day, but he again continued his culture, his physics knowledge. And this is the latest one, very recently, the Timothy Springer, the immunologist. He developed the monoclonal antibody, discovered, and many other antibodies. And he is now in the limelight because he is in the Moderna. Moderna is releasing vaccine very soon, COVID vaccine soon. So he purchased also share of Moderna, $5 million. Now the share of Moderna is $800 million in his pocket. So he's a completely biologist, I think medicine. He's from Harvard, MIT. He's also from MIT. And then let us give example of our people, rural people originated from rural Bengal. He is the person, Dr. Manilal Bhaumik. Manilal Bhaumik is from Midnapur district. He did physics, studied physics. He did PhD in physics, and he moved to America a long time back. And he did research in laser. And he did invented LASIK surgery with his laser research, and he made billions of dollars. And so with this dollar, what did he do? He not only made he is a billionaire, but he has founded an institute in his name, Mani Bhaumik Institute for Theoretical Physics in America, in American soil. He hires American people. He paid from his money, and he not only paid the American people, he pays American Nobel laureate in his institutes. So all these people, what they do, these people, earlier I said that these are the people who made money out of science. So they may have all of them as philanthropic activities, society. They spend money to support the education. They spend money to support the poor people, needy people who are brilliant. They said, we don't care for the ordinary people, ordinary students, ordinary faculty. We care for the brilliant people. So we have to be brilliant. You have to study hard and work hard and get attention of these people if you need to get their help. So science actually not only is started from reasoning, but actually science ultimately helps the humanism. Science as an humanism. So science not only so science depends on the reasons, established on the reasons. So and continue to explore the beauty of nature. And so our understanding of the world consists not in mere listing of particles, forces, and species, but deep, elegant principles such as the gravity, the curvature of space and time. And life depends on a molecule that carries information, direct metabolism, replicate itself. Scientific discoveries continue to astound to delight to answer the formerly unanswerable. When Watson and Crick discovered structure of DNA, they could not dream of a day when genome of a 38,000 years old fossil of Neanderthal would be sequenced and found to contain a gene connected to speech and language. Or when an analysis of celebrity actress Angelina Jolie's DNA would predict the chances of having breast cancer in near future. That, that is a history. So therefore, science is changing human condition significantly, and humanity is really breathing at the edge of reason. So I can give you an example here now. See, the world GDP was very negligible up to 1800 years. And compared to you don't have to go to the detail. They compared to the geological time scale, life is only 3,500 million years old and years ago. And human were between now to 1.6 million years ago, if humans evolved. And modern human evolved 70,000 years ago. My point is the time scale is very large. Compared to the huge time scale, our GDP, world GDP increased tremendously between 1800 and 2000, thanks to scientific development. So 200 years of scientific revolution has increased the GDP and reduced the world poverty. You can imagine, we know, and that happens between 1950 to 2020. So that is, you can imagine very well that now you know that everybody knows now, because of even because of COVID-19 situation, people didn't die because of starvation. Government could support huge amount of with money, with grains, with rice, with wheat, with pulses. Why? Because of the evolution, the agricultural evolution took place because of scientific contribution. But can you imagine, just 50 years back, we have seen in 1970 or 75, there is huge starvation. People could die because of some drought or some flood, but not now. So thanks to the scientific, 200 years of scientific revolution, and modern science only 50 or 70 years old. So you can see what lies ahead. So our journey basically, we can go back to now the original, our molecule, the RNA molecule, which started say million years ago. Now, so a billion years ago, we started as a non-organic entity and then become organic, and we're now heading towards inorganic. So so our life started in the primordial soup, and the people showed using experiments that our life originated from the RNA and the nucleotides. The primordial soup, in the primordial soup, nucleotides originated from the inorganic molecules like H2O, CH4, ammonia, and H2. And then thereafter it developed, and this is the modern DNA. So, and then, so gene, that's the gene, the nucleotide, and gene immortalized. The once gene started making a house, making a cage, making a cell membrane, and then after millions of years of evolution, the nucleus developed and the DNA become more immortalized. So gene is immortalized. So that is why gene is called selfish gene. So even if the life is vanished just now, the gene will not be vanished. DNA will be there. So that is why DNA is called the immortalized and the. So what DNA is doing, gene is doing, basically we are the replicator of the gene. All forms of life are the replicators of the gene. We are serving the purpose of gene. We don't have any purpose. We don't have any goal. So we are just complicated the evolved species, and we are the human among all the species. We evolved so much so, and because of three evolution. So, and because our ancestors' challenge was uncertainty for survival, very simple uncertainty, everyday uncertainty, food, shelter, safety. But we have to now face the radical uncertainty. Our ancestors also faced radical uncertainty, such as the other animals like because the many large animals vanished because of the cosmological crisis, and dinosaurs vanished because of the some other cosmological crisis, because asteroid hits the Earth and suddenly they vanished. So that is one of the examples of cosmological uncertainty, radical uncertainty. You don't know when his asteroid will hit our Earth and then will be vanished. That is radical uncertainty. But modern science try to understand how the path of the asteroid so that we can interfere. So modern science and the evolving science can do this. So we have faced many other uncertainty like disease, but now I go to the biological uncertainty, like many, so we have faced plague, we have faced other infectious disease and the Spanish flu, but many people don't know about the this diphtheria world faced in 1943. I am sharing a letter from the diary of a young girl by Annie Frank. You know, Annie Frank was a victim of horrors of war, Second World War, and she used to write diary every day, and she wrote that shuddering things are happening. Diphtheria reigns in Ellie's home, so she is not allowed to come into contact with us for 6 weeks. It makes very awkward over food and shopping, not to mention missing her companionship. That is Wednesday, 17 November 1943. See, the people are not able to come out. People are in the isolation as we are facing now. So, but we didn't imagine that August 2020, that we will also face similar situation in the January, March, April, and also this is the picture in Calcutta in August 2020. So Homo sapiens is inside. Why? Because this simple virus, this is simple virus, it's like no life. Its simplicity made our life difficult. It looks very complicated, but since you are the biotechnology students, aspirant biotechnologists, let me just tell you, microbiologist, biotechnologist, or molecular biologist, let me just say a few words about this. This virus, SARS-CoV-2, this is just a simple virus. It has a 27 kb genome, and it has 4 structural proteins: S proteins, M proteins, E proteins, and nucleocapsid proteins. This 27 kb genome they express a few proteins. 1 protein clipped into 2 proteins, and then into 14 proteins. So the efficient system, just a very highly efficient system. This S protein then just helps to attach with our cell and goes inside the cell and utilize our system, multiply rapidly, and then enter into other cell types, other cells. So it has 2 advantages. One is the mutation in the RBD, receptor binding domain. It can easily attach with our cells. It is the advantage over SARS-CoV, which was in 2002. It was not serious, but SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 is very serious because of this mutation and another mutation, another insertion, that is a furin cleavage site. It helps to go to every kind of cells. That is why it causes multi-organ failure. So in summary, the very simple virus made our life very difficult. But COVID will go. Homo sapiens will still remain superior species and will rule the planet. Why? How? Because the ancestors, our siblings, our messy siblings, chimpanzee, they cannot do this. They cannot do the complicated, it's very simple work. They don't have the cognitive activity. We have very similarity with chimpanzee. 98% genes are similar. 98% genes are similar, but still chimpanzee, human is human. Human rules the planet. And because of 3 interesting revolutions. Homo sapiens, superior species, because of cognitive revolution, which happened 70,000 years back. Agricultural revolution, which happened 12,000 years back. Scientific revolution happened 500 years back. What is cognitive evolution? Cognitive evolution is the ability for planning complex action, protection from wildlife, hunting large animals. They learn, and to protect themselves from wildlife, they started cohesive groups, larger groups, and they learned cooperation. This is very important compared to chimpanzee. Chimpanzee cannot cooperate. Chimpanzee can cooperate to very limited extent. So few chimpanzees can cooperate, but not to larger extent, not like this. These are the Homo sapiens cooperation. We can listen to public lecture, public gathering, 10 lakh people gather, and they go back home without any casualty, without any chaos. That is called cooperation. But humans are also innovative. That is the topic of my discussion today. Humans are innovative because, and the great invention, some of the great invention is like this fire. And why humans are great inventions? Because we need in a way to invent. That is why why creativity is needed. Creativity is needed to find solution. When there is a problem, we will find solution. And it happened. It is happening now also, and it will happen because that human can do it. At the same time, also because humans adapt to everything around very quickly. Not only it is a need based, but we want to understand. We want to enjoy the beauty of science. We want to understand that we have a curious. We are curious. We ask questions. So we want to study the nature. Why things are happening like this. So that is why we are very, very much adapted to something, and then we try to something new. And why do humans adapt to everything around so quickly? Because our brain is designed so. Our brain has repetition, suppression, action. So we repeatedly we see things, and our brain is suppressed. Suppose rotary phones turn into push button phones, which turn into brick-like cell phones, then flip phones, then smartphones. We can think that a smartphone is fine. We don't have any other problem. It is working fine. We don't need anything extra. But human is not happy. Homo sapiens are not happy. It's trying to find out new interesting feature, adding new feature, and maybe we know very soon we'll have a palm phone. Already you have a better phone than smartphone. So some of the interesting innovations, there are many innovations. Just I can say just 3 examples here. The the discovery printing machine, bulb, and the wake-up machine. But many of you don't know that very simple innovation by industrialists, by some scientists. They are not scientists, but they are curious to invent. They're not engineer, even not engineer. They discovered, they change the life, change our life, change the economy very dramatically. One of the examples is the discovery of assembly line system in the car manufacturing industry, in automobile industry by Ford, Henry Ford. The car manufacturing relied on horse-drawn carriages to deliver each frame to the workers. So all machineries parts are coming to the mechanic, and mechanic is assembling the whole car. And then, but what Henry Ford thought that, okay, it is taking a lot of time. So he developed assembly system. First time in the history of automobile industry, the Ford industry, Henry Ford developed moving assembly line on 7th October 1930. Instead of going the every parts, the whole the car will go there, and then one by one they will add their parts, and their car will be assembled. So his innovation reduced the time it took to build a car from more than 12 hours to 2 hours and 30 minutes. This you can think, okay, that is very fine, but what does it do? What did it do? It has a huge impact in the industry. Not only in the car manufacturing industry, this assembly line system was utilized on the brewery system and many other systems. So it has completely changed the way people did work. And 2020, nobody is there in the floor, only the robot. So 26 factories, 126 country, 137 factories of 4 motors. There nobody in the floor, no human being is there, no Homo sapiens is there, only a robot. So you can imagine what is coming soon. Now let me give examples. The innovation in biotechnology. There are many, but I like to give this example because this is a very completely different approach Sanger did for sequencing insulin protein. See, insulin was very necessary because when people realized that insulin is necessary to treat diabetes. But scientists thought, how can we synthesize insulin? At that time, people are dependent on porcine insulin, but that is very limited. So you have to sacrifice animals, purify it for insulin, and then utilize for treatment. But these people are trying to synthesize insulin. So how can they synthesize insulin without knowing the structure? So what Sanger did, Sanger made into pieces and then sequenced the shorter fragments. Finally, insulin was sequenced, and in 1958, he got Nobel Prize. He got another Nobel Prize for similar approach, sequencing DNA molecule. Now you can know the DNA molecule can be sequenced very soon, very rapidly, with say 2 or 3 hours, whole genome can be sequenced. But at that time, it was unthinkable. So they changed this our life dramatically. Now let me just discuss about what is the difference between invention, creativity, invention, and innovation, because it's very important for the policymaker to understand also. The creativity is just a fuzzy idea, just any fuzzy idea which you have thought while sleeping. Okay, this is possible. It is possible to predict the, say, pregnancy by comparing some protein. But you don't know what is a protein. You just imagine. You don't need any money for that. It's an idea. But then somebody discovered, okay, discovered a protein, identified a protein, which is increased at the time of pregnancy in the urine. So he said, okay, this is I invented. So, but this requires a lot of money, because to understand the any system, you need a machine, you need biochemicals, you need reagents, you need manpower. So you need money. And so this requires money. And then some other scientists showed, okay, I can detect this using develop a kit. Okay, I can detect the HCG, human coronary globulin, in the serum, in the urine at the time of pregnancy. And he detected hundreds and thousands of subjects and showed, okay, this is possible to detect the human pregnancy. And so that revolutionized the system, and then that started giving money. So invention requires money, but innovation will give you money, give you cash back. So policymakers interested for innovation, but you need invention to get this stage, innovation stage. So you have to spend money. So that is the difference between the Western society and our society. Let me give you an example. See, in 1775, 25% of world GDP was controlled by Asian countries. And even 75% was controlled by Asian countries, 25% was contributed by India. In 1950, 4% of the world GDP is contributed by India. So once we are rich, we become poor. 1750, Bengal was the richest province in India. But in 1775, famine killed millions in Bengal. Why? What is this? What is the problem here? You can see that the GDP in terms of dollar, see, this is a period, 1775 onwards or 1750 onwards. See, the world GDP is increasing rapidly, tremendously, because of two things. They spend money, they invested, they realized while the whole world was trying to, they participate in industrial revolution, they innovation and spending, and the central dogma of discovery innovation. Our ancestors, our sultans, our kings, queens were busy dealing with their wives and mistress and enjoying life. They were just indifferent. You can see still this kind of tendency is there. So what is the central dogma to innovation? Which Western society realized that you need resources, you need money to understand how coronavirus infects, but to understand the coronavirus immunology, you have to spend money. As I said, you have to make a BSL-3 facility, you have to get virus, you have to culture it, so you need chemical, reagent, manpower. So then you resource, then only you can understand coronavirus, then only you can identify vaccine, and then you can get money, then you can earn money. So this requires a lot of research. This phase, you need to spend money. Then part of the money that they realized that if you spend money for research, you will get power. You get two kinds of power that they realized, two kinds of power, economic power and strategic power. That is why global power shifted to Europe after 1750. So economy depends on innovation, they realized, and they spend. See, that's why you can catch it. Can you catch them? This is 2020. You see the position of India, see the position of US. To whom we are talking about? USA. See the South Korea. In 1995, me and my wife landed in South Korea on 1995, 31st October with 2 suitcases. And at that time, on the next day, we entered in the university, and we got a card. a ATM card in the bank. 1995. Think of the 1995 in India. Nobody could think of any ATM card in 1995. And now, at that time, they are developing country. Now they are developed country. Just give an example. I'm giving an example of South Korea. In 1985, half of the South Korean used to get only one-time food, full-time food, and half of the Korean used to get one-time food. It was unthinkable to get 2 times food. Now they are the developed country. I'm giving example of South Korea because we love South Korea. And every planners and policymaker give example of South Korea. And what we are doing, why it is happening so? Because we didn't realize. We still don't realize. I don't know whether we realize or not. So I am giving an example. So even Christopher Columbus requires investors. Christopher Columbus, when trying to start his voyage to discover land, unknown land, he approached many investors, many kings, but they refused. They didn't take the risk because there is a lot of uncertainty. He needs to build a ship, strong ship, and multiple ship, and people, manpower, food, and weapons, because there are a lot of uncertainties there in the sea. At that time, it was unthinkable. So that's why nobody took the risk. But then he approached Queen Isabella of Spain, Queen of, at that time, Queen Isabella, the Spanish queen. But Spanish queen said that, Queen Isabella said that, okay, I can find you, but there is only one condition. And Christopher Columbus asked, what is the condition? She said, you go, wherever you go, whatever land you discover, that will belong to Spain. It will be Spanish. And that's the rest is history. Christopher Columbus successfully discovered America, 1492, and America belonged to Spain. America became a Spanish colony, and Spain became rich because they cultivated sugarcane and they made billions of dollars. So they realized she took risk. So you have to take some risk. You have to understand that innovation will not come out of the thin air. You have to spend money. And this is the powerful concept also. Why it is powerful? Because that will give empowerment, strategic empowerment. If you can convince your prime minister, your leader, that okay, this will give power, then they will visit your laboratory and they will spend money. This is a picture from Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam, where Professor Satish Dhawan and I explaining SLB3 results to Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. This is Abdul Kalam, and rest is history. Prime Minister of a country was visiting the laboratory to investigate, to inquire, to get the update of the SLB3 preparation. And not only one prime minister, several prime minister after prime minister visited their laboratory, and this is also history. And prime minister consoling the chairman of ISRO because of the missing the moon by whisker, and giving the message to the whole scientific fraternity that okay, take risk, we are here. And this is the success story, Indian success story. You know that. I'm not going to the detail, but across human history, creativities are successful in a society where failure is encouraged. Our parents do not support failure. Our teachers do not support failure. Our society do not support failure. See, this is not to say, I am not saying this. Abdul Kalam said this. He said it by Lakshman. And he said, Lakshman, was the great cartoonist. He even they ridicule when there is a failure in SLB1. First time it was failure. The fault was in the press button switch. It didn't make contact. That was the joke made by Lakshman, and he was very upset at that time. So now what are the challenges ahead? Challenges ahead not for us, challenges ahead for our biotechnologists, our students, our society. This is our challenge, greatest challenge. Who is this? He messed up his teacher's lecture. Who has seen this movie, Chathu Ramalingam. This is our challenge. I am not going to the detail. You can understand what I am trying to say. This is our challenge. our autopilot mode education system. We run the zombies-like system. We create zombie input-output device. We give some input, we process, and then output is the result. So this, and then there is some storage and feedback. We just, with that cannot give you innovative idea, that cannot give independent India. And then another challenge is the fourth industrial revolution. What are that? Disruptive technologies, Internet of Things, robotics, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, what your Vice Chancellor always say. So these are the things are shaping our lives, everyday's life. And these are the people shaping our lives. These are the Western innovators. Adaptive innovators, they are shaping Homo sapiens, flourishing in the face of constant disruption. So adaptive innovation is a Western concept. This is Elon Musk, this is Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg. So these gentlemen, they think that human will land on Mars in 4 to 6 years. That Elon Musk thing, few days back he said. And these are the challenges. We have to face it. The robots, the driverless cars, and then who is this? What is this new species? So with human, there's another species is coming. We have vanished, this Homo sapiens has vanished. All the Homo species, Homo neanderthal, Homo erectus, all the human species. We are the superior. But what are the new species? Will they allow us to flourish, or will be vanished? Or this species will run the world? That is the greatest challenge. It is not fantasy. This is 2016 incidents. The Google DeepMind challenged the toughest game player in the world. This is called the Google DeepMind created algorithm, artificial intelligence system, the AlphaGo. So this board game is played in China, Japan, and Korea. This board game, Go. Go is a game. This is the toughest game. This is tougher than the chess. They have already lost human already lost to Google AlphaGo, but this one is the toughest game. So they invited this person. He was the AlphaGo champion in France, and then he was defeated. Then they took the Google AlphaGo took his help and developed further, and then gave the challenge to world champion Lee Sedol. Lee Sedol is Korean, and they gave challenge to Lee Sedol. So this is the AI AlphaGo, and this is human. This is AI, artificial intelligence, and he lost. He lost miserably. The human lost to AI miserably, 4-1. Okay, you can say fine, losing is okay, but they were surprised. The creator of this AlphaGo was surprised. One game only, he just won one game. And when he won one game, all South Korean people in Seoul city came out with joy because it was shown in the large screen outside in whole Seoul city. Why they were surprised? Because they realized after the game was over that AI learned many new steps which they didn't imagine. They have not taught. So AI has learned many things. That is why AI, because it is learning, the neural network is learning more things which you cannot imagine. So that is, so the Homo sapien lost to AI. So how long our superiority lost? This is a very recent example, 2020. This will be loved by your director, Dr. Raja Banerjee, his field. See, alpha is the protein folding, protein structure, protein chemistry. So you need to understand the protein structure, three-dimensional structure, the actual real structure of protein, so that you can design drug, you can inhibit molecules, and you can treat diseases very fast. But designing drug and understanding protein structure requires a lot of time with available infrastructure. What AlphaGo, the Google DeepMind design, AlphaFold, this is AlphaFold. AlphaFold achieves high accuracy even for sequences with fewer homolog sequences, and they design this molecule. So they can, from the sequence, they can immediately within 2 hours, which scientists may take many days, many months, many years, they can design within few hours, and it is published in Nature. So what biotechnology, marriage between biotechnology and information technology can do, you cannot imagine. So what managed between biotechnology information can take to IBM Watson is an example. I'll try to share this the YouTube. If you can see this.
The world's approach to health is broken, but that's about to change. Medical data doubles every 3 years, and the $7 trillion health industry is unable to keep up with the staggering rate at which information is produced. From medical records, clinical trials, and research to personal fitness bands, implanted devices, and other sensors that collect real-time data, each of us can generate the equivalent of 300 million books of health-related data in our lifetime. In fact, approximately 35 cents of every dollar spent on medical care is wasted. And yet, there is a reason for hospitals, doctors, insurers, and patients alike to be optimistic about the future. The reason is Watson Health Cloud. The IBM Watson Health Cloud brings
The
together
video is not showing.
Not showing?
centralized thinking,
No, it's only the audio is there.
combining traditional analytics with the advanced cognitive
Okay, it's okay.
capabilities
Just
of
listen.
Watson. The ability to learn and over time refine its analysis based on what it is learning, to turn this wealth of data into knowledge. Take Raul. Raul has a family, a busy job, and an active lifestyle. He also has a heart condition. It's mild, but it could worsen over time. He works closely with his doctor to monitor the problem, but they have difficulty finding medication that doesn't limit his busy lifestyle. And with the mountain of medical data available, it's nearly impossible to keep up with the latest treatments. Raul's doctor starts using a new app created from the Watson Health Cloud. It allows him to review Raul's personal and family medical history from other doctors, even insurance providers, and incorporate that information with data from Raul's Fitbit. This provides both Raul and his doctor with meaningful insights about his condition over time. Watson Health Cloud operates in an ecosystem environment. As in nature, an ecosystem brings together many contributors to keep the system functioning smoothly. Watson Health Cloud's ecosystem functions much the same way. It combines massive amounts of data and knowledge and brings together researchers, doctors, patients, pharmaceutical companies, and insurers in a secure and open platform. As Raul and his doctor continue to use Watson Health Cloud through the app contributes that data back into the Watson ecosystem. This give and take makes Watson Health Cloud more dynamic, intelligent.
So, what is this Watson? IBM Watson. IBM is teaching that this this algorithm AI with 1,000 millions of images. Say, for example, autoradiography images. Autoradig images, they are teaching thousands, and they are saying this is cancer, this is stage 1 cancer, this is stage 2 cancer, this is stage 3 cancer, and so on and so forth. And then after that, they are showing actual data, and it can detect, okay, this is stage 1 cancer. So you can imagine where we are heading to. So now let me just come out of this. I don't know how.
And efficient for everyone.
Go to your previous slide. Please go to your previous slide and then skip it.
Stop. Was
Sir,
it
slowly stop
shared?
Yeah, you have shared this thing. So just go to your previous slide. From the slide
Yeah.
mode. Yeah, from the slide
Yeah.
mode.
And now you
And
go to your slide.
yeah, go to your slide.
Sir, please reshare the slides, sir. And please unmute your mic, sir.
First share your screen. Share your screen.
You have to click onto the share and then check your desktop.
Sir, please open the Zoom platform
Yeah,
from the
open the
taskbar.
Zoom platform. Yeah, from the taskbar, open the Zoom platform. Please. Can you open your Zoom? Do you have the Zoom? Please
Ma'am,
unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
unmute.
sir, please
Please
unmute
unmute.
yourself. If
Please
you are not
unmute.
able to see the Zoom platform, then sir, you can press on the window button and yes.
I think
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. No, maybe. Just a
Yes, sir.
second, please.
just now share the screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
now, I think, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can,
Come down,
yeah,
down,
You
down.
can see, right?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we can see now. So
No,
now
no,
you
no.
can just
No,
go
don't
to
go in the
the,
slide. Don't go into the slide mode. Just,
no, no,
just
it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Quickly, you
It is
can,
done, so I'll just continue. That audio is
yeah.
done.
No, you can go to the slide sorter, then you can go to
last slide.
the slide, last slide. This will take time.
It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Exit.
Yeah. No, no, I think he will get it.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, so I just have 2 more slides to finish. So where we are heading, can you see?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
So the question is, immortality is an eventuality or our existential challenge? So let me just give 4 examples describing 4 topics. Number, organic evolution. So we evolved, and then we are going to evolve again. So there will be organic evolution going on. We will have our all organs replaced with organic or grown organ, with stem cell, with the help of stem cell research, and then will be like this. And our, because the IBM Watson, Google DeepMind, many algorithms, our biochemical algorithm will be developed. So we can be easily hacked by our corporation because they know what is going on in our system. We can easily predict our heart failure. We can easily predict the occurrence of disease. Everything will be biochemically monitored by algorithms. And then, so that is why it is possible to hack Homo sapiens, what you are thinking, what you are doing, to whom you will vote, and to whom you are actually hate. You can, I'll finish with this example. The students who have already seen this movie, the Avengers, the Age of Ultron. That was the movie, the famous movie. I watched with my sons in the movie hall, say before Corona, 2 years back. And in the last scene, you might have seen that the killing, that fighting was going on with just 2 brain, no organic entity. So there are only circuits, though the neural circuits. So the question is, are we heading towards that? So what is the need of the hour now? So need of the hour is the creative mentality. Not saying creativity does not emerge out of thin air. We depend on the culture to provide a storehouse of raw materials. We have to tolerate risk. We have to support taking risk, and we have to encourage creating risk taking. So I will finish with this the poem by Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was duty. I walked and behold, duty was joy. You replace life just science. I slept and dreamed that science was joy. I woke and saw that science was duty. I walked and behold, that science was joy. I should acknowledge from all these books from where I prepared this talk. And this lecture is not directed to any policymakers, government organization. This is an opinion, and my target audience are the students, to encourage opting for S&T as their career and stimulate rational thinking in the society in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bandopadhyay. Definitely, students will.
So I'll stop sharing slides so that you can.
Yes, please. Yeah. Students will definitely gain insight from this lecture,
Prem,
which is.
can you show the video? It is on the
Uh,
video. Actually, you have stopped the video. Prem,
no, it is working.
please.
It
It's
is there.
on.
No, my
It is
video is
there. It is. No.
not working.
Just
Okay.
switch on your video,
Almost
sir.
solved.
Okay. So the students will definitely gain insight from this talk. What we have gathered in, if we have to summarize, there has been the essence of science in nurturing this creativity mind, and also there is a
Prem,
lot of
please on
risk.
the video.
There
Prem,
is a
please
lot of
on my
risk
video.
associated with such creativity, which will take a shape of invention, and which through your talk you have rightly pointed out that one should not stop at invention but go one step ahead through innovation. And definitely one can make money out of that innovative mind. And students also look forward uh, to uh, to to actually plan their career as to how they can make best of their knowledge. And though you have given a lot of examples, all the examples are very apt. And of course, they have covered a broad spectrum from AI to also biotechnology, and also to some historical perspective that we had from World War, and also the modern age, different different examples from these the countries that have gained popularity and have now are now ruling through innovation. So some underdeveloped country or developing country has now become developed. So there has been a lot of examples, and you have in the beginning you have mentioned that you will cite examples. And yes, you did justice to that there were several examples. And I think your talk can show the path to the students that how different they can think. So, yes, there are some few questions, but should we take the questions, Professor Banerjee? Can we take the questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, actually, there are not many, but students are very much, they are curious to know how to handle challenges, the new challenges in their daily lives and in their study careers, in job fields. That's what Debushmita Chakraborty wants to know, how to handle challenges, because definitely challenges is a threat. So how do they handle?
No,
Can you
actually,
give some?
yeah, challenges is not threat. Challenges is also opportunity. Always there is an opportunity to grow. My main purpose of this lecture is to stimulate students for taking the challenge to come out of the traditional way of teaching. And in that case, your university is very pioneer that the coming out of the traditional way of teaching. I know because your vice chancellor said many occasions. So this is an ideal environment. But at the same time, see, nobody will make things for you. You have to make your own things. You have to think, you have to study hard, and you have to have innovative thinking. You have to do that, then only you can be you can accept the challenge. But if you think that these are challenges, but it is not, it will be problem for it's not like that. See, fourth industrial revolution, which is coming out, it is actually will create a lot of opportunities for the people who are the brilliant. But for the people who are not brilliant, there will be a problem, really problem. So there could be two kind of species very soon. One will be Homo sapiens, and will be Homo sapiens superior, and will be Homo sapiens inferior. So I'm sorry to tell you that you should be Homo sapiens superior. So you have to be very progressive. You have to study hard. Don't spend time on your smartphone. Don't spend time on your laptop. Don't be like a zombie. Just keep your eyes open and study hard and think rationally. Depend on the science.
Actually, they should be spending time on smartphones and laptops for something good.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Not for watching cat video.
Yeah. So that is what they should be doing with with the technology. There is also another question. Okay, one participant wants the YouTube video which you were showing. He wants a link. So maybe you can just say the keywords through which that I think it's a IBM Watson
Yeah,
video.
IBM Watson. IBM
So that
Watson is freely available.
I think it's
Yeah,
a very
yeah,
I
it's
think
very
you can
interesting
take
because
that.
IBM Watson, general manager of India, he came to our laboratory. He talked, give a lecture, and he showed how they are developing the IBM Watson. So very soon you will be using IBM Watson for your disease status and diagnosis. It will be in practice very soon. It is in practice in some of the countries.
Okay. So a student asks, sir, can a disease make particular changes in body smell? Pheromone.
Yeah,
Diseases
sure.
can.
Yeah, they are. So you can the machine which I showed you, orbital mass spec, you can easily identify the metabolites released in your sweat, and at the time of disease, and it can be identified. People are trying to do this. It is really good idea. Thank you for asking this question. But it is possible.
Okay. So he is actually a student from microbiology, biotechnology, MSc biotechnology. Okay. Our faculty, Dr. Shurjani Dev, asked any suggestions for young or junior faculties or scientists for their growth. This is a very pertinent question.
Yeah, this is very pertinent question, and being the director of this institute, I have to guide these people because there are two kinds of research. People think that basic science and applied science, but there is no such things. You have to do good, engaged in deep understanding of anything. That today's basic science will be tomorrow's applied science. So, but you have to do very seriously whatever you do. That is the only thing I can suggest, and then only you can easily. The success is not difficult because most of the people are doing very seriously. That is why it is the advantage also, and this is the advantage of the student also. So many students are wasting time. So if you don't waste time, so you will be ahead of them. Similarly, many scientists are not doing science very seriously. They are just doing their job, not duty. So doing job and duty, there is a difference. I said in another story. So people are doing their job. So if the scientist is engaged in job, he will not be successful. But if scientists go the duty is the single most obligation in our life. Joy, whatever joy, the outcome, that will be that you don't have to pursue for joy. You have to pursue for duty. So if you do duty, you will be successful. So do something very seriously, young stage. Of course, you have to sustain that. You need to some publication, something minimum thing, so that you also sustain that you do. So you have to make a fine balance. Every junior scientist should have a long-term goal. Okay, what will be after 15 years down the line? At that time, I cannot say that I didn't get 15 years time. Now you have 15 years time. If you are a junior, 20 years time. So you should foresee what will happen after 20 years. Then only you can survive. Otherwise, the people who are lazy, who are not doing well, bad days are coming for them.
Yeah, that is true. We can understand that how difficult the future is if we are not very ruthless. True. And let me see if there are more questions. Rutam Ghosh, he's I think a student. Sir, good evening. Ritam Ghosh, you have told about RHD, your marker. Do we have any biomarker to detect this kind of disease at very early stage?
No, Ritam, I told that there is no biomarker available. The marker is this disease is diagnosed by using echocardiography. That's an imaging technique. So the marker is not very early, but it is at the same disease already happened, and then you can detect. Then only you can see the protein in the blood. But there is no other biochemical markers available at this moment.
Okay. So Oritra asks again, this is definitely the student's perspective. We are all students and failures comes to your life. How to keep maintaining scientific temper in hard times as well?
Oh, that is very simple. You study hard. You should study extra books. So
Okay, so
I
books
manage
is
my
the
stress by studying books,
so internet as well as
reading books.
books, both.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't spend time on internet. I read books. Just read books.
Okay. So that is also another way that they can groom themselves
Yeah.
other than internet, because internet definitely shares a lot, many information.
For this
But
lecture,
books,
there are 12. I refer 12 books.
okay. Deboshmita asks how to manage times during higher study like MTech. So, sir, you can, Dr. Bandhavadya can answer. Higher study like MTech, how to manage time?
How
Because
to
for MTech, they have to, means in MTech, it is like they have many subjects, they have many courses to cover. And definitely MTech is a little bit considered higher
no,
in its standard.
but it should
But
be.
post graduation, yeah.
Yeah, in MTech, like when I did MTech in IIT Kharagpur, it is a completely new subjects for me. I can give my example. I just landed into IIT Kharagpur for studying biotechnology, but I didn't study biotechnology. I went to agriculture department, and it's all mathematics people and the statistician other people. So by studying MSc life science, I forgot many things, but some, of course maths was there in 12. So I had to learn many things till 12 o'clock night. We have a meeting, we have a group discussion. See, some company IM professor used to come at 12 o'clock night and give seminar. We had to attend whole night. Sometimes the library was open the whole night in IIT Kharagpur. So I spent time there. So the time management is it's up to you. You have to manage your time anyway.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And that ambience also has to be there.
Correct.
So that the students get motivated.
Yeah.
So definitely IITs have that culture, and automatically a student is groomed and motivated to go for higher studies, and they get that
But
that
one
zeal
point,
also.
one important point for the faculties here, that during MTech, the strategy should be changed, not to give a lot of stress on theoretical or books or notes or other things. It should be at least one full year should be in laboratory, and the first year itself people should start going to the laboratory, do something, and get engaged with the research, ask questions, and then it will be study will be easier. So there should be more on research and practical things, at least projects, so that a full 1 year they will get for doing something which is followed in a pharmaceutical farm.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we need to
Right.
reconsider and also have the structure a little bit different so that students can impart on research, because whatever you have discussed in the earlier slides is an outcome of research. So if students are not given the chance to work in the lab, then that idea of creating a problem for solving some any critical question will not arise unless they are in the lab. Yes, that's true, but not in the pandemic. Now it is very difficult for students to get into the lab, so we are also facing a problem to get students into the lab. So whenever this pandemic will get over, maybe things can go get better. So I think at the moment I don't see any more questions.
Ankita has one question. Ankita Ghosh.
Ankita Ghosh. Okay, sir, how to stay focused? It happens sometimes that after studying for 1 hour or so, we lose focus and start wasting our time.
Yeah.
Very,
Very
yeah,
common.
that's true.
Very common.
Very common. So what do you think? So you should, can you suggest something to her? She would like to hear from you how to stay focused.
There is no straightforward answer for that. If you study for job or for exam, then it will happen like this. But if you be intuitive to understand, to know something, you will not feel 1 hour or 2 hour time. So you have to change your mindset completely. That I have to enjoy the beauty of science.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
I want to add one line with Dr. Bandyopadhyay. It
Sure,
is
sure.
you, and it is up to you who will
Correct.
decide what you will do.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
if you are
Absolutely.
doing, if you are doing science for earning money,
Yeah.
then it will be your problem. And if you are, if you
You are not audible. Some problem with your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Sir, your voice is not properly audible,
No,
sir. There might be some
Professor
internet
Banerjee,
problem.
Professor Banerjee, you are not
yeah,
audible.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
It is
But
Yes,
yeah,
my
yes,
your
yes.
voice is breaking. Yeah, voice is breaking.
now can you hear me?
Yeah,
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 then
yeah, we
you
can.
continue, please. Actually, there is a
Okay,
network issue. Only one thing
okay.
is, it is up to you, and you have to decide.
Correct. Correct.
And just
Absolutely. Yeah.
so, if you enjoy, you can do. If you do not, someone is imposing you, you have to do it. You are
Cannot.
not liking it, don't
Yeah.
do it.
Correct.
Yes, true. That is true. But students have to study, no matter how much they are finding difficulty. They have to find out a way to make the study enjoyable. That is what we should follow, and students
Actually, the
should follow.
problem is,
Should
actually, in our society, the problem is the students are running behind the marks. But if the students enjoy study, marks will run behind them. That is the thing.
yeah,
But it is very difficult to make them understand. Also, but there are two things: genomics and epigenomics. So this is the epigenomic part. The environment and all other things are there. So once they are seeing this kind of chair and the ambience, it will be, oh, how I am crazy, how I should get that thing. But they do not know how much you have to tolerate, and you have to you have toiled yourself. So that is the journey. And actually, I'm very happy the way you are saying the challenges and the uncertainty. So the uncertainty, once there is an uncertainty, you have to think about whether I will take it or not. And as you have rightly and appropriately mentioned, the difference between the all kinds of the animals and the human beings is the power of cognizance. As the human being have the power of cognizance, so he or she has to decide whether I will take the challenge or not. This is also one thing, whether I enjoy or not. If I take the challenge, then that comes, actually there is a, in our childhood there is a comic by Bhanu Bandyopadhyay. If it happens, then I have two words. If do not, there is nothing. So that's the issue. Whether in Bengali, I think Orunda can remember, there was a Bhanu comic of Bhanu Bandyopadhyay. যদি এটা হয় তাহলে দুইখান কথা আছে, যদি নাই হয় তাহলে কিছু নাই. This is the thing, is whether you want or not. That is the very important thing. If you do not want to take the challenge, okay, that's go. But if you then want you to take the challenge, then there comes uncertainty whether you will get or not. So, and then when the uncertainty comes, then you have to think about how you can overcome. And that is why he has rightly mentioned there are two homo sapiens. It will be superior and the inferior. If you are not taking the challenges, you will remain as inferior, and if you take the challenges, you will become the superior. And one thing I am telling you, in IISc, I found that whole night, as the students are saying, the library is open, there is an ambience, the administration have made this thing, and their life starts after 9 p.m. Live start in IISc at 9 p.m. The students starts after their dinner. They go into the lab. They start their research work also in the library and all other things. So it is completely up to you how you will manage. And I asked some of my friends in that thing, why you go after 9 p.m. in the lab? They said, we are planning to go to USA because our 9 p.m. will be their 9 a.m. So this is a very interesting thing they told me. So I'm extremely obliged and extremely thankful to Professor Bandyopadhyay, the way he showed how to overcome this uncertainty. Every moment, every time there is an uncertainty. I do not know whether after 10 seconds, as Professor Moitra is saying, whether we will see tomorrow. It's a question. The question is whether we will say even after 10 seconds. That will be a uncertainty. I do not know. So
Yeah, we
this
have some more
is
questions.
very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Carry on. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, one
Okay.
more question.
No, there are 3 more questions.
Yeah,
Shoham raised his hand, so if he can be unmuted, so he can ask his question, and then there are just 2-3 more questions from the students. So
Hello,
Shoham Banerjee, yes. Shoham,
hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk.
yes.
At the very first, thank you so much, sir, for this encouraging session. Sir, I want to ask you just one question. What I have faced so many times in this year, sir, with JAMAM's and RSS permissions, I am associated with those juniors, my dear juniors, and many of my juniors asking me one question, sir. Still, we are in the age of 22, around 23, and many of our friends are started doing job, but we are still studying. So they are asking me, their question is it worth it to study in this age or without going for any kind of job? So how can we manage this kind of patience in this period of pandemic, sir?
So this is already answered. Your Professor Raja Banerjee already said that it's up to you. See, many of our friends, in fact, Dr. Raja Banerjee's friend also, when we studied a master's, then they went into PhD. Then our friends at that time, they joined LIC. And you can see where are they and where we are. So it depends, no? So at that time, they bought a scooter and then they joined LIC. They said, why you are studying? So it's up to you. You just choose whether you will continue to study or you just go and have some job.
Yes.
How should I maintain this patience in
Yeah,
this
you have,
pandemic period?
no, that's your target. You set your target. You set your target that one day you will go to somewhere in the high and Western society or somewhere in India and do something, solve some problem, a people's
Yes.
problem. Then only you can solve. That's your the motivation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Exactly.
much.
Yeah, that was really something that Shoham should also believe and follow. Srijita asks, is there any technology in AI which help to detect oncogene in our body? AI can detect
Yeah, it is already done. AI before AI, human detected what are the oncogene published. It is all because the human genome can be sequenced anytime.
Yes.
So it is known. Now what AI is doing, using our data, what big data say, or the deep sequences from large number of data set, large number of patient, AI can tell that, okay, this oncogene is increased or decreased, means with this complicated algorithm, they can say that the possibility of having cancer within 1 year or 2 years or 6 months.
Yeah, that's. And this is a very interesting question from Srinivas. He's an MTech student and very common question, but I think it is very apt. What sparked your interest that made you decide that you will pursue a career in research? The students are still confused.
Yeah, from when I was class 6, 7, from that days also, those days, because I used to crush some plant extract and put on these ants and try to discover some medicine which could kill the ants, because ants are very problematic for our life. So that's the curiosity from the early age. So you have to have something.
Answer, should I add one word?
Yeah.
Professor, the inquisitiveness.
Yeah.
Why we will study?
Exactly.
Only the answer is inquisitiveness.
Because we thought
As
that,
you are saying,
yeah,
to
what
kill
else
the
we
ant.
study?
Yeah.
Yes.
Only to know the truth, to
Correct.
explore. That is,
Correct.
actually we are doing research. That is what is already in nature. We are doing not search. we are doing research. That is
Searching for the truth.
actually searching for the truth. And actually sometimes I'm telling my students, whether Newton was there or not, there is no way the apple will fall always to the ground. But
Yes,
if I were
absolutely.
there, I will take the apple and have a bite. But Newton was a mad, and he just make the law of gravitation. That is the difference between Newton and myself. So it is a word of inclusivity. If I were there, I will take the apple simply and have a bite and enjoy. But Newton, he's a mad guy. He's tried why it falls. And but it actually what helps us to get the idea about the escape velocity. And that's why people are, this is the application of the technology. If we do not know how much gravitational force is there you pulling us, and have to overcome that. So that is basically helping us. So the only word is inclusiveness, search for the truth, be loyal, and what Dr. Bandyopadhyay at initial stage told some of the scientists overshowing this thing, which is over expressing their data and etc. etc. That is not ethical. So that's why quote unquote an ethical committee, and I know the Indian government what he is doing, and the Professor Dr. Bandyopadhyay is actually he can tell you about because he is in a part of so many ethical committees as a chair of the institute, so he knows. So that's why there is a good good man like Amir Khan. I forgot his name in the Three Idiots, but and also there is Chaturli. There is also this person was there.
Chaturamalinga.
So you have to. But I forgot the name of Amir Khan.
Rancho's Chacho. Rancho's Chacho.
Rancho. Yes.
You need Rancho.
So now you have to think Rancho, what you want to be, Rancho or Chatur. And whether when you will be Chatur, you have to say, oh, I have wife, I have 2 child, don't, I have to write for patents. And then Rancho will call, oh, come, don't go, you are my friend, I will give it to you. So this is up to you.
Yeah. There is one other question. This is very common. Nilanjana asked that how can we prepare ourselves for the huge exams like NET and GATE? She doesn't have much patience, but she wants to also pursue research. But eventually she has to appear for NET and GATE. So
Nilanjana,
what's your view?
Yeah, Nilanjana, if you just start this chapter, reading the chapter, then how the cell division is stuck for years after years and then resume meiosis at the time of puberty. And you'll be surprised and you will not be frustrated that you are reading several hours. You will be surprised to know what is going on inside the cell at the gene level, at the molecular level. So you have to be inquisitive for any chapter, how these biochemical reactions are going on, how the cholesterol is synthesized, multiple steps, so how glucose is absorbed by the insulin. You try to ask the questions in the textbook is already there, and then you will not feel that time is passed. So you need answer. To get the answer, you don't need to be worry for your patience. Your patience will automatically come. So what you have to get, so like scientists also, we say that what is the question you ask in this paper or thesis or your dissertation. So that is the important.
Yes, true, very true. So I think if there is no other questions, so Professor Banerjee, can we conclude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With at least a vote of thanks.
Yeah.
To once again Dr. Bandyopadhyay for enlightening us, for enriching us, and basically motivating us to take the challenges to overcome the uncertainty. That is the one line I can say from your thing. To take the challenges to overcome the uncertainty using our power of cognizance. That is the only question and only answer to the summarization of all his talk. So thank you very much, sir. Just one phone call you tell immediately, yes, I am coming, without asking anything, You are just mentioning, yes, I will be here. I know as a director of the IICB.
Oh, our Honorable Vice Chancellor VC sir is also there. So can Prem,
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you
VC,
for coming here.
yes,
Actually,
our
I'm sorry that there is some
Thank you.
network
Thank you
issue.
very much.
Our
Thank you very much.
yeah. Sir, yes, VC sir is also there.
Yes,
Could
correct.
you,
So we had very interesting and engaging discussion. So this is the time to conclude it.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So with all our good wishes from the school from MAKAUT, West Bengal, and also on behalf of the School of Biological Science, we thank Dr. Arun Bandyopadhyay for his deliberation, and it had a different dimension altogether in this lecture. Was a motive. It was like steering the young minds to think ahead. So I think everybody enjoyed it, and also our Honorable Vice Chancellor is always talking in the lines what you have actually discussed today. So those are the challenges, and we are facing, and we will overcome with our hard work. So thank you very much once again, and to the
Thank you.
entire team of the webinar, Prem Kumar, and also our student Shoham, and all our teachers who had been encouraging us, and of course, last but not the least, our Honorable Vice Chancellor is always there with us. So thank you, sir, for being with us, and also thank you all, and also good night, Dr. Bandyopadhyay, for your
Thank
excellent talk.
you. Thank you very much. Thank
And
you.
thank
Thank you.
okay. So students, you have a link at the bottom, so you can please fill up your feedback and submit it. Okay.
Okay.
So good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor
Thank you
Mehta.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Good night. So we are closing. Prem, we are closing, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Participants are requested to kindly note down the feedback link.